call of a distant bird pierced the air, and Primal's ears twitched. He had lived in these woods for as long as he could remember, his only companions, the creatures that shared his home. Yet, as the years passed, he grew restless. A yearning grew within him, a curiosity about the creatures that built fires and lived in metal and brick structures. He had seen them from afar, their lives a mystery he longed to unravel. In the realm of human experiences, few aspects evoke as much intrigue and complexity as BDSM. This often misunderstood practice encompasses a spectrum of dynamics where power exchange is explored within safe, consensual frameworks. In exploring these themes, one can draw parallels with the wild, unbridled spirit found deep within nature, the very essence that shapes our understanding of freedom, connection, and primal instincts. Sanctuary untouched by the chaos of modern life offer more than just solitude. They bring forth the raw essence of existence. It is here, amidst towering trees and the soft whisper of the wind, that one can truly connect with themselves, stripped societal expectations and norms. Within this vast expanse, the woods serve as a backdrop for personal exploration, mirroring the intricacies of BDSM and power dynamics through the lens of nature's primal beauty. Nature hums a melodious tune that resonates with every living being. From the fluttering of wings to the rustle of leaves, each sound creates a rhythm that echoes life's dance. In many ways, those who engage in BDSM harness this natural rhythm, choreographing their own dances of power and submission. The dynamic between nature and human interaction becomes palpable when we consider the concept of energy exchange, the very essence of BDSM. Just as two partners communicate in a scene, guiding each other through sensations and limits, nature too has its own language of give and take, creating a balance that can be both exhilarating and grounding. The silence of solitude, one finds clarity. Amidst the embrace of the forest, the thoughts fade, revealing an inner dialogue that speaks directly to the heart. This solitude allows individuals to reflect on their desires, boundaries, and the delicate nuances of consent-essential components of any BDSM relationship. In the wild, there exists an undeniable power dynamic, predator and prey. Understanding these interactions highlights the importance of respect and communication hallmarks of healthy power exchange. When individuals step into the BDSM realm, they do so recognizing the gravity of wielding power over another and the responsibility it entails. His name was Primal, a moniker not bestowed by loving parents, but one that emerged from the deep, from the resonating growl that rumbled in his chesta, sound as primal as the forest. Stories of transformation often echo throughout history, capturing the essence of those who have shed their former selves to embrace something more genuine. Primal's journey speaks to the heart of every individual yearning to discover their true identity, a quest that inherently ties back to the principles of BDSM. Identity and transformation names carry weight. They signify identity and the roles we inhabit. For Primal, his name became a symbol of Robertha's shedding of his past identity as he fused with the wilderness. This transformation parallels the journey of individuals within the community who may find liberation by embracing alternative roles and identities. The act of defining oneself through BDSM practices allows individuals to explore facets of their personality that may remain dormant in everyday life. Primal's metamorphosis reflects the beauty of self-discovery, wherein we learn not only about ourselves, but also how we interact with others, navigating the complexities of power and surrender. Embracing instincts in the depths of the forest, instinct reigns supreme. Animals thrive by following their innate drives, an understanding that serves them well within the ecosystem. For those delving into the world of BDSM, tapping into one's primal instincts can enhance the experience, fostering connections that transcend verbal communication. When one surrenders to their instincts, whether in scenes or moments of vulnerability, they create space for authenticity. This return to a more natural state fosters trust between partners, allowing them to delve deeper into the realms of pleasure, pain, and everything in between. Primal's fur, once a rich, warm brown, had aged to a mottled gray, mirroring the bark of the ancient trees that had witnessed his transformation from a frightened boy to a formidable guardian of the wild. Time flows differently within the confines of nature. It shapes the landscape and all who dwell within it. As Primal transitioned from childhood to adulthood, he found solace among the trees that had stood for generations, silently observing change. The wisdom of ages with age comes wisdom, a truth that transcends human experience. As Primal matured, he absorbed the lessons woven into the fabric of the forest. Those who participate in BDSM often share similar journeys, learning from their experiences and growing wiser with each encounter. The trials faced in exploring one's limits, desires, and vulnerabilities become teaching moments, cultivating greater empathy and understanding. Just as Primal learned from the forest, individuals engaged in BDSM must navigate the complexities of relationships, forging bonds that withstand the test of time. Guardianship and responsibility means protecting what you love. Primal embraced the role of protector in his natural domain, embodying the responsibilities tied to power. In the context of BDSM, this guardianship manifests in the commitment to uphold safety, consent, and trust. Guardianship extends beyond mere physical protection. It encompasses emotional and psychological support, ensuring that both partners feel secure in their exploration. A responsible practitioner understands the weight of power dynamics, creating an environment where vulnerability can flourish without fear. At a young age, he had sought refuge in these woods, fleeing the family life of the human world. Now, at 41, the forest had become his family, its towering trees and whispering winds more familiar to him than any distant memory of life. Escaping into the wild speaks to a longing shared by many an innate desire to retreat from the overwhelming stimuli of modern civilization. For Primal, the woods became a haven, offering reprieve from the noise of existence. The allure of escape, the call of nature, draws individuals seeking solace. In today's fast-paced society, the need to disconnect and recharge resonates deeply. The woods symbolize a return to simplicity, echoing the core tenets of BDSM, finding clarity amid chaos and establishing meaningful connections through shared experiences. Immersing oneself in nature can evoke feelings of empowerment and freedom, allowing individuals to shed societal expectations. Embracing such freedom is a fundamental aspect of exploring BDSM, wherein participants often seek to transcend limitations imposed by the outside world. Rediscovering the self in the sanctuary of nature, one can rediscover their essence. The forest became a mirror reflecting Primal's identity, shaping him into a guardian whose purpose transcended mere survival. Similarly, individuals within the community embark on a journey of self-exploration. Through engaging in power exchange, practitioners peel away layers of inhibition, ultimately revealing their authentic selves. Each interaction becomes a stepping stone towards self-acceptance and opportunity to identify desires, fears, and boundaries, fostering a profound understanding of one's place in the world. His eyes, sharp and knowing, scanned his surroundings with the vigilance of a creature eternally attuned to the pulse of the natural world. Every rustle, every flicker of movement was noted and understood. To the untrained eye, Primal might appear as a ghostly apparition, a myth among the trees, but to those who truly saw him, he was the embodiment of the wilderness itself. Awareness is key in both nature and interpersonal dynamics. Primal's acute senses allowed him to navigate the forest seamlessly, picking up on subtleties that elude the untrained observer. The importance of awareness, engaging with nature, cultivates mindfulness, a practice echoed within BDSM dynamics. Mindfulness promotes an acute awareness of oneself and one's surroundings, enabling participants to better understand their own needs while attuning to their partner's signals. This heightened sense of awareness transforms the experience, allowing for richer connections and deeper exploration. Primal's ability to read the forest mirrors a top's duty in a BDSM scene, remaining attentive to their partner's responses, adjusting as needed to ensure a balanced exchange. This vigilance nurtures the trust necessary for power dynamics to flourish. Myth and reality: to some, Primal may seem a fantastical being, yet his existence lies firmly rooted in reality. This duality speaks to the narratives constructed around BDSM, which can often be shrouded in misconceptions. By acknowledging the tangible aspects of these dynamics, individuals can dismantle myths surrounding power exchange, paving the way for open dialogue and acceptance. Understanding that individuals like Primal exist beyond legend encourages those intrigued by communication to explore their curiosities without fear. They come to realize that engaging with one's primal instincts does not diminish humanity. Rather, it enhances the richness of the human experience. The town had long since forgotten the boy who had vanished into the woods, leaving only whispers of his legend. But to the forest, Primal was no legend. He was a living, breathing testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the unbreakable bond between man and nature. Legends often rise from the ashes of truth, born out of collective memory and cultural narrative. Yet, beneath the stories lies the essence of individuals who forge paths of their own, leaving behind tales that inspire and captivate. The resilience of the human spirit, Primal embodies the fortitude inherent in humanity, an unwavering spirit that refuses to be extinguished. Similarly, those participating in BDSM exemplify resilience, facing societal judgments while pursuing their desires unapologetically. This courage to embrace one's true self reinforces the idea that power lies in vulnerability, a theme central to both primal instincts and intimate exploration. Each practitioner's journey contributes to a broader narrative of acceptance and understanding. By challenging norms, they pave the way for future generations to navigate their own desires free from shame or stigma. The bond between man and nature, the relationship between humanity and the natural world, is intricate and multifaceted. Primal's existence showcases a profound connection to the community, illustrating the symbiotic relationship that can exist between beings. In the world of BDSM, this bond is mirrored in the partnerships formed through trust, highlighting the potential for harmony within power dynamics. Recognizing this interconnectedness can lead to a deeper appreciation of both nature and the choices made within intimate relationships. Individuals become aware of their impact on the world around them, fostering a sense of responsibility as stewards of both their desires and the environments they inhabit. With the sun sinking, Primal took a deep breath, filling his lungs with the crisp, pine-scented air. This was his realm, and he was its guardian, a role he embraced with every fiber of his being. As dusk descends upon the forest, a transformation occurs, a shift in energy that invites reflection. The change of light holds transformative power, influencing moods and perspectives. In BDSM, shifts in the atmosphere can dramatically alter the dynamics of a scene. The dimming light evokes a sense of mystery and anticipation, amplifying arousal and inviting exploration. Primal's awareness of these transitions underscores the importance of setting the stage for intimacy, where the interplay of light and shadow creates a landscape ripe for discovery. Understanding these nuances fosters creativity and spontaneity within BDSM interactions. Partners become attuned to the flow of energy, navigating their desires with newfound insight and passion. Embracing the guardian role, taking on the mantle of a guardian, implies a deep sense of commitment to protect, guide and nurture those you hold dear. In the realm of BDSM, this role can manifest as a dominant partner, ensuring the safety and well-being of their partner. Primal's dedication to safeguarding the prey illustrates the vital importance of accountability within power dynamics, a principle that must be upheld to foster trust and intimacy. Protectiveness and care define the essence of successful explorations, allowing space for vulnerability while maintaining safety. These tenets are crucial for nurturing healthy relationships, enabling partners to delve into their desires without fear. The yearning for connection often sparks curiosity, a desire to bridge the gap between worlds. The call of curiosity propels us into the unknown, prompting questions that lead to growth and understanding. Exploration often involves venturing beyond established boundaries, challenging preconceived notions of pleasure and pain. Primal's desire to understand those dwelling outside himself reflects the necessity of curiosity in expanding one's horizons, whether through new experiences or different perspectives on power dynamics. Opening oneself to new possibilities enriches the journey, encouraging individuals to take risks and confront their fears. Engaging with the unfamiliar paves the way for profound insights and transformative experiences. Bridging worlds, bridging the divide between primal instincts and civilized behaviors, necessitates an understanding. Primal's longing to connect with himself reveals an intrinsic desire for companionship and shared experiences. Similarly, those who engage in BDSM seek to reconcile their desires with societal norms, navigating complex emotions in pursuit of authenticity. By fostering dialogue and fostering connections with those outside their community, individuals can dispel misconceptions and build bridges of understanding. This openness enriches the BDSM experience as partners learn to appreciate the diverse range of human experiences that shape their desires. In the rich tapestry of human experience, the intersection of primal instincts, identity, and desire presents a compelling narrative. Through the lens of Primal's journey, we uncover the profound connections between the wild and the intricacies of BDSM, encapsulating the essence of power exchange and primal play. Nature offers a sanctuary for self-discovery, paralleling the explorations within the BDSM community, where trust, consent, and vulnerability reign supreme. As individuals continue to navigate their desires and grapple with societal expectations, they emerge stronger, more resilient, and deeply connected to their authentic selves. Ultimately, embracing one's primal instincts cultivates not only a greater understanding of the self, but also a recognition of the interconnectedness that binds humanity to the natural world. As we navigate the delicate dance between power and surrender, let us honor the journey, celebrating the transformation that unfolds within the woods and beyond. Grab yourself a glass of water. You made it this far. One crisp autumn evening, as the leaves painted the forest floor with a mosaic of reds and golds, Primal made a decision. he would venture into the world. The idea filled him with excitement and fear in equal measure, but the pull was too strong to ignore. With a heavy heart, he packed a few meager possessions into a makeshift sack, his eyes lingering on the familiar sights of the cave. As he approached the edge of the trees, the distant murmur of voices grew louder. His steps slowed, his instincts on high alert. The smell of wood smoke tickled his nose, and he could make out the faint outline of buildings through the foliage. He tread softly on the damp earth as he crept closer, until finally he stepped out of the shadows into a clearing. The solitary figure, Primal, his curiosity piqued. A young girl, no more older than him, stumbled into the clearing, her eyes wide with fear. She was lost, her voice trembling as she called out for help. Primal's instincts were torn between his wariness of others and a deep-seated protective instinct. He stepped forward, his heart pounding as the girl's cries grew more desperate. Her eyes widened when she saw the beast, and she stumbled backward. Primal raised a paw in a gesture of peace, his fur bristling slightly as he tried to appear less intimidating. She took a cautious step closer, and he could see the tears glistening in her eyes. He had never felt such a strange mix of emotions before: fear, pity, and an unexplainable urge to help. He took another step towards her, and she didn't flee. The woman, barely more than a girl, was dressed in tattered clothes and had dirt smudged on her cheeks. She looked at him, her voice shaking as she spoke. I don't have much time," she gasped, her voice trembling and breathless. "They're coming for me, bikers. I don't know why, but they want me dead." Her eyes searched his, desperation etched in every line of her face. Primal knew nothing of bikers, but he understood fear. His fur bristled slightly as he extended his body in a gesture of reassurance. "Hide with me," he rumbled softly, his voice deep and soothing. She hesitated, her eyes wary, but the earnestness in his gaze seemed to calm her. Together, they retreated back into the woods, her small hand nestled in his, her tiny warmth surprisingly comforting. They moved swiftly through the dense underbrush, weaving their way past branches. When the girl stumbled, Primal scooped her up with surprising ease, her slight weight nothing compared to the hefty bucks he had brought down in his youth. They arrived at a hidden hollow, a small cave that had been his refuge many times before. "This is where I live," he said, his voice echoing in the small space. From the outside, the cave looked like any other part of the natural landscape, but as they stepped inside, the girl's eyes widened in amazement. Primal had crafted a small kitchen area with a stone hearth and a wooden bench. Pots and pans hung from the ceiling, and a metal pot sat atop the fire, filled with a stew that had been simmering all day. The scent of roasting meat and vegetables filled the air, making her stomach growl. The shower is a remarkable feat of ingenuity, nestled within the rugged walls of the cave. It starts with a natural spring high up in the mountains, like a magical fountain, providing a continuous source of fresh, clear water. From this spring, Primal crafted channels out of wood and stone, fitting themes together like intricate puzzle pieces. As you approach the shower area, you see the impressive fire pit built beneath a large stone reservoir. When lit, the fire heats the stones, turning them into natural radiators. The water flows over these hot stones, warming up as it travels along the channels. This heated water is then stored in a sizable wooden tank, insulated with moss and clay to keep it cozy and warm, like a blanket wrapped around it. The piping system, made from hollowed-out branches, carries the warm water to the shower area. The wooden shower head, a testament to Primal's resourcefulness, releases the water in a steady stream when you twist the handle. The warm water cascades down, mixing with the earthy scent of the cave and creating a serene, almost magical atmosphere. The shower area itself is framed by the natural beauty of the cave, with rough stone walls that glisten with moisture. The sunlight filters in from a small opening above, casting dappled light on the scene and adding to the enchanting ambience. The sound of the water flowing and the crackling of the fire create a soothing symphony, making this natural shower a haven in the heart of the wilderness. The girl, whose name was revealed to be Leela, was initially wary of Primal's offer to stay in his cave. The idea of being in such close proximity to a creature that looked like a man, but was definitely not, was unnerving. Yet the warmth of the fire and the smell of the stew began to dissolve her fear. She knew she had to trust someone, and Primal's gentle demeanor was more comforting than the cold woods. As they sat by the fire, Primal's fur was the only sound, a soft rustle as he shifted his weight. Leela's eyes grew heavy with exhaustion, and she leaned against his side. He felt her body tense when she realized their closeness, but made no move to withdraw. Instead, he placed a comforting hand on her shoulder, and she relaxed, allowing herself to be lulled by the crackling flames and the steady rhythm of his breathing. With the stew finished, Primal offered it to her. She took the wooden spoon he presented and began to eat, the warmth spreading through her body and bringing life back to her cheeks. She glanced up at him, her eyes shimmering with gratitude. Without thinking, she reached over and brushed the hair from his face. He flinched, his eyes flashing with something that could have been anger or fear, but she saw the vulnerability in them and knew she had to be careful. "Thank you," she whispered. He stiffened, his eyes flashing with something akin to a warning. "Don't touch me," he growled, his grip on her wrist tightening. Leela's heart raced, her eyes wide with shock and fear. "I'm sorry," she whispered, pulling away from him. "I didn't mean to. I just wanted to thank you." Primal's grip loosened, and he released her wrist. "I know," he said, his voice soft. "It's just, I'm not used to humans." His eyes searched hers, trying to convey his apology without words. Leela nodded, her own fear dissipating. "I understand." They sat in silence for a moment, the crackling fire the only sound in the cave. Then she spoke again, her voice tentative. "Can I ask why you're out here? Why are you not with your family?" Primal sighed, his fur ruffling as he leaned back against the rock wall. "I don't have a family," he said. "Not anymore." He paused, his eyes distant, lost in a memory. "I was born here in the woods. My mother was a creature like me, but my father was my father. They didn't live together, but he would visit sometimes. He taught me things, but people were afraid of me. Leela's hand hovered in the air for a moment before dropping back to her side. Leela's eyes filled with tears at his story, and she reached out to touch his paw again, more gently this time. "I'm sorry," she said. "I can't imagine what that was like." Primal pushes her away, his eyes flashing with a fierce protectiveness. "You're safe here," his voice rumbled in the enclosed space. "Rest. I'll keep you." Exhaustion eventually overtakes Leela, and she succumbs to sleep, her head pillowed on a makeshift bed of furs. Primal keeps his vigil, his eyes flickering from the fire to the entrance of the cave. He can't shake the feeling that her presence here in his boundaries has changed everything. He's never felt responsible for another being before, and the weight of it is both terrifying and exhilarating. When Leela opens her eyes, the cave looks different. The fire has been reduced to embers, casting a warm glow over everything. She sits up, her body feeling cleaner than it has in days. Looking down, she finds herself in a soft dress made from fabric she doesn't recognize. Her cuts and bruises from her ordeal are all looked after. The dirt that once clung to her skin has been replaced by a gentle scent of lavender and sage. Her gaze lands on Primal, who is still awake, his eyes never leaving the cave's entrance. He notices her movement and turns to look at her, his expression unreadable. "You're awake," he says, his voice a gentle rumble in the quiet.